What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe, hype. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, the Bungie stuff, the Microsoft stuff. The funny thing about the Microsoft stuff is that it still isn't confirmed, right? Rumors of that they're shutting down everything. Everybody's getting fired, and I'm like, they didn't say that. Some people have left. People from Compulsion, I think, have left. I know the lead at Bungie left. He left. Nobody said nothing about that, but he left. So like a lot of people are leaving, but so far nothing's been shut down. But the news would have you believe something different. They would have you believe that everything's shutting down. How they saying it, right? All these are gonna be possibly maybe shut down. I'm like, why don't you wait? Today's the 30th. Tomorrow we should know some stuff. I mean, we should know stuff today, but I guess tomorrow. I don't know. I tried to look. I was like, what's going on? They were talking about Game Pass is going to change or something. I'm like, y'all are just punching in. Like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm like, can somebody tell me what's going on? Oh, y'all just going to speculation time? It's a speculation world? I don't know, man. That's why I'm like, I haven't been like regurgitating the stuff that people have been saying or the rumors, because it's rumors. It's not confirmed. And y'all could just waste your breath and be like, waste all that energy. I know it's content, whatever, but nah. I'd rather do other things. You know, I honestly, this is where my brain is at, right? I'm working on the track. I'm working on the intro song, right? It's like it's there, kind of, sort of. And then in my brain, I'm like, you know what? I think I need a different track. I think I need a different flow. I was literally about to throw that one in not throw it in the garbage, but still have it. But do a brand new one. And I'm like, man, I can't. And you know why? Because I started doing the CG, the visual part of it. And so how I do it shouldn't be the way that you guys do it or whatever. I don't storyboard. I just I have a vision in my head, and I say, okay, first it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that, it's gonna go to that. It's usually kind of a one shot, basically. It's not technically a one shot, but it's like a one shot, one camera movement through the whole everything, and it goes to the end. And I'll probably end up doing that. But I mean, we'll see. But I mean, that's tricky because it's hard to have all those things in one scene and have it all render, because I'm not rocking any type of GPU compute on my system, so I got to do it piece by piece and then slap it together. You know what I mean? Anyway, rumors. Look, stuff is gonna happen. Reset, good. I was watching Luke Stevens. He was talking about the PlayStation stuff, and well, I mean, they were talking about how they're deleting the movies and stuff. I mean, we already kind of touched on that, so that's evil, whatever. But then Nishino's son had an interview with somebody, Famitsu, I don't know who that had an interview with, but he was spilling the bit. Like, the people were asking the questions, and he was spilling. I also watched Destin. Destin was like, I like these questions. And they asked all the good questions. And the answers were interesting. So basically, I forget what the actual questions were, but it was basically, the answers were as such. Let's see. So Nishino is basically saying that they will not significantly subsidize the hardware because they trying to make damn money. So honestly, I'm gonna probably say they won't subsidize it at all. The only problem with that is they did a bill of parts. You know, they did the calculation for the parts of the PlayStation 6 back before, and that came up to $760, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, then you think an ad, but it would be $799. Boom. PS5, PS6, $799, right? Everybody would have probably been okay with it. Then the rumors said that, oh, yeah, no, that's not the price anymore. You got to add $200 to that. And that's not including advertising. That's not including shipping and all that stuff. So, do the math. It's over a G for a PS6. And it's supposed to be like weaker and stuff. No. PlayStation. First of all, if it's under a G, if they come out with the PlayStation 6 and it's under a G, they're losing money on it. Period. Now, there's a whole bunch of things going on. There's lawsuits. There's a class action lawsuit on the memory dudes, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, right? California, I think it was California. And they're like, yeah, man, they doing oligopoly, whatever it's called. And basically saying that they basically are doing what they did in the early 2000s, and then again what they did in the, was it the late 80s, I think it was, or the early 90s? I can't remember when it was. It might have been in the 90s. They've been doing this for freaking decades. And so they were like, let's have a meeting, guys. I think it's time to execute Plan 72-12. It's like, what are those numbers? I don't know. It's just what we wrote down the first time. Look, they're going to get slapped on the wrist. They're going to pay their hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. And that's all it's going to be. By the time it happens, which Luke Stevens was explaining, by the time it happens, courts take forever. This memory RAM, it's going to be over. So they're going to have made all their money already. So $100 million, $200 million per company doesn't matter. It's nothing. I wish they could fast track it so they could end it sooner, but it's not how it works. This is business, and the court system is kind of a business too. Not really. Anyway, everything's a business. Money. So yeah, that's happening. Lawsuit. We'll see what happens with that. Nothing. It's the prices are high. I was gonna talk about the some people are saying that anybody who's saying that it's okay to have a payment plan or be down with a payment plan or I don't know. I mean, I know that's Paris' stance, but I can't remember exactly what he said. But he's against it. He's against that. He's saying just extend this generation and just wait. The problem with that is that Microsoft and PlayStation already have these chips made, right? Well, at least Microsoft does. I think Microsoft is ahead of schedule as far as releasing a console versus PlayStation. PlayStation's a little bit farther behind. But they already have the orders. As far as I understand it, they already started manufacturing, or at least the design is done. So it doesn't make sense to hold it because it's different for PlayStation, because PlayStation is a bespoke. I don't know what they're doing. The Xbox Magnus chip is the foundation of RDNA, was it 5? Their new graphics cards. So within the AMD graphics cards is going to be the Magnus chip, which is what the Xbox Helix is. So if they delay that, are they going to delay the AMD chips, or are they going to come out with the AMD chips and then delay the Magnus, and then by the time the Magnus comes out, it's going to be a little antiquated, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know if it makes sense. Also, if they delay it and the situation gets worse, which Asha Sharma said it would get worse, they said it's 2.5 times more. It's going to go to 5 times, and then 7 times, 700% basically. I mean, I think it's already at 700% as far as like the RAM and stuff. But so waiting is not good because it'll cost more to wait. It'll be 5 times more, or whatever the math is, because it's 2 times 5 times, but the 5 times and the 7 times is based off of the first number, so it wouldn't be 5 times, or is it? I don't know. Anyway, I think it is based off the first number. Anyway, so it would benefit them to do it now, to make them now, to release it now, because it would be cheaper for them to make now, as opposed to waiting a year and then boom, it costs double. It costs quintuple, quadruple, what's 5? Right? Cinco, septuple. I'm bad at those number words. Anyway, sorry, long day. But yeah, so for as far as the business side, the company side, it doesn't make sense for them to wait, because if they wait, it'll cost more for them to make, and it'll cost more for us, because they're not going to lose. Some of that cost has to, like, the multiplication is going to affect us on the price wise too. So the cheaper it is for them to make, the cheaper it is for us to buy. Right? Make sense? Right. So I'm not opposed for them putting it out. I don't know if I'm going to get one right away. I want to, obviously, because let's go, Xbox, here looks nice. But at the same time, I'm like, there's a point where you see a product, right? And you say, that's not worth what they're charging. You know. And I don't know if that's self-control, or it's just, I mean, is it automatic buyer's remorse, but you haven't bought it yet, or it's just common sense? I don't know what it is, but that's what I do. I say, yeah, nah. That's why I don't have a luxurious, car, a sports car, or a luxurious sedan or something, or $100,000 car. It's like, that's like, I could get some land for $100,000 and sit on it and have it appreciate and then flip it, as opposed to beating up a car, dude. Here's a tangent for you. I was watching these a bunch of mechanic videos pop up on my feed. I think it was YouTube or whatever, shorts. And they're like, a lot of the mechanics today are complaining about these new cars because the manufacturers are making it more difficult to repair them. So people like me, who I have an older car, so I can repair it, right, for the most part. Yeah, I could change the alternators, right? I mean, it's right there, but I still got to do some work. You know what I mean? I could change the starter. I did that. I actually changed the exhaust manifold on this thing. That was not fun, but I did it. I could do it. I did it. What else I changed on this thing? A lot of stuff. Water pump twice. The power steering cooler twice. I think the last one I got was a cheap. This one's a little bit better. Anyway, there's certain bobs, bips, and boops, sway bars and, stabilizers and stuff like that, I have to do a suspension job on this thing. But anyway, brakes, no problem. That's easy work. But now, I forgot what car it was. It wasn't a BMW. It was a Kia. I think it was a Kia. The Stinger, was it? It was a Hyundai Stinger, or I forgot what car it was. Anyway, they had to change the timing chain or something, right? In order to change the timing chain, now there's two different cars that they showed. The timing chain one, I remember that one. I can't remember what the other car was, but the timing chain is a Hyundai, and it was whatever, Stinger, whatever. Anyway, they had to drop the drivetrain. If y'all don't know what that means, they had to drop the engine, the transmission, the wheels. It was all connected. It was like the whole frame came. I didn't even know that car was body on frame, but I guess it is. They lifted the whole thing up, and it's just an engine, transmission, the hubs and stuff. I was like, and then they had the way that they did it. The chain is on the backside near the firewall, so they had to take. That's why they had to take it out. And then they take it apart, and then I'm like, yo. And it was just like one of the guides inside the inside the compartment where the chain goes along is like made of plastic, and then they have the new part is metal and whatever, and so it's a better part. But I was like, first of all, if it's a Hyundai or a Kia, I would not spend that money. Whatever the labor is on that is thousands of dollars, just the labor to do all of that. And I'm like, oh hell no. That's a car I'm not buying. Stick with Traylor Bailey. She easy. She a straight. She a I6 rear wheel drive. So the engine's it's pointing the right way. You know what I'm saying? You got room. And then the next car, I forgot what car it was. Maybe it was a BMW. Maybe not. I don't remember. But the starter. And in order to change the starter, you have to drop the transmission. You have to take the transmission off the engine. The starter is literally inside the bell housing. I'm like, yo, that would drive me up bananas. I would be like, hell to the no. Why would you? It's so, it's crazy. It's crazy. When I saw videos, I'm like, if I get a car like that, if something goes wrong, I'm getting rid of it. I'm not. It's disposable at that point. And it's like, I don't even want to do that. I'll just rent a car, or I'll lease a car, or I'll get a little junky car and fix it up. And I'm gonna keep Trailer Bailey going. So it's just crazy. Anyway, back away from the tangent. Sorry about that. But video games, listen, we love video games. They're awesome. They take our minds away from the idiotic troubles of the day. And some troubles are not idiotic. They're serious things. But, sometimes you sit down and you're like, beep, boop, boop. And hopefully you're with somebody, your partner that understands that for us gamers, it's a stress-free release time thing, It's a hobby, yes, but at the same time, it's a little bit of therapy, if you will, Some people go through, I've heard many stories about many content creators. I was going through a hard time, but I just died, my dog died, and blah, blah, blah. And then I played Halo, and it was the best game, and it brought me through. And I'm like, that's what's up. I'm trying to think, has there ever been a game that brought me? No, I don't think I use video games. When I'm having issues, that's every day. I usually turn to music. I usually do. That's usually my. It's an easier pathway for me to kind of vent what I need to vent. Because, like, say if I'm super angry, I'll make a super aggressive track. I'll be like, yeah, it's like super hard with hard sounds and stuff. Then I try to write something and it's like, nah, I can't do it. Sometimes I do it, but then I don't put it out, because it's when you say things or you do things or you perform under the influence of your emotions. It's good if you're an actor and you use the emotions to, that match with the scene and stuff like that. But if it's like an artistic thing, if that's what you're going for, if you're going for like an angry song and you're angry when you do it, then it's cool. But sometimes, like when you're writing, you say things you don't really mean. And so I try not to react with my emotions. I try to sit back, let it cool down, and then I'll be like, okay. And then with a calm mind, I say, okay, what was going on there? When I think about it, I was like, it's not a big deal. Most things aren't a big deal. Some things are, but most things aren't. But anyway, video games. Video games, we love it. Everyone will find their own way through what we're going through. Now, I will say this. I watched Luke Stevens, one of his latest videos. It might have been today or yesterday, whatever. I watched it today, but I don't know when he put it out. And basically, he said what I believe is happening. He said, somebody in his chat asked, oh, when do you think the crash is going to happen, or blah, 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 or you think the crash... And he was like, it's like, you see what's happening right now? You see Sony laying off all of the Bungie people, and you see Microsoft resetting, and you see all the prices going up, and you see if you combine all of the horrible things that are happening right now in video games, literally a crash is happening right now. The crash is happening now. As we speak, it's happening right now. And look, there's gonna be layoffs, and the thing about this crash is COVID magnified it in a way, because of all the expenditures, all of the hirings, and everyone overhired, everyone overspent, everyone overreached, and it inflated the industry in a way that it wasn't sustainable, because that hunger during COVID it was a temporary thing. And so when it went back to normal and everybody's going outside and coughing on each other, everybody again, they were like, yo, what happened to all the people buying it? Yeah, they went and touched grass. That's what happened. They went out and got some pizza. That's what happened. They stopped playing video games every day because they ain't inside in quarantine no more. That's what happened. And so part of it is COVID. So when I look at it, I'm like, okay, it sucks, but these people working for these companies, studios and stuff, they understand that they don't have a union. I'm sure they would love a union. There's pros and cons with unions. Pros are usually for the workers, cons for the company. But at the same time, if you have lazy people working and they're in a union, they're going to take advantage of the union benefits, if you will. I see it every day, and it makes me sick. And I'm just like, is that sure? Okay. Some people just want to take advantage of the system. Which, look, inherently the system is there. You could do whatever you want to do, but, some people have pride in what they do, I guess, or whatever. But, these companies are trying to survive. And we're looking at Nintendo. Like, Nintendo had the worst. What happened? They had the worst whatever sales since whatever, and then they gave everybody a raise. They're working on another frequency. They're like, yeah, we lost more money. Everybody get raised. They're like, yay, we gonna make really good games now. You see what's going on with Sony. They're losing. Oh, I forgot to. Let's go back to Sony real quick, because Nishino said a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, I almost skipped over it. And the fact that I'm not reading from it doesn't help. But I'm trying to recall it from memory. I'm trying to exercise my brain. But so basically, he said the thing about not subsidizing, making all that money. And then the other thing was they were concentrating on live service games. Now, they're failing at live service games. Literally failing in real time right now. They made the bonehead move in the world by stopping production or work on Destiny 2 and moving everything pretty much to Marathon, which is sucking more than Destiny 2. Look, I'm not the boss over there, so I can say whatever I want, but I'm just saying, look, they got their own plan, ain't working, and them saying, oh, we're gonna double down on live service. That's the future. Some is a super important part of our strategy going for. I'm like, yo, they have been, look, y'all. I don't know if y'all realize they have been failing at live service games ever since they became a company making video games. They've never. I guess Factions was probably their best. Gran Turismo, I guess. Yeah, I guess Gran Turismo was probably their most successful one, only because they have so many entries in it. But what's the numbers on Gran Turismo? Is Gran Turismo even on Steam? I don't think it is, right? No, it's not. Well, 7 isn't anyway. But they're better racing games on Steam anyway, on PC, so they don't need to be there. But the fact that they're doing that, and then, we talked about the price of the inflated price of the PlayStation over a G, PlayStation 6. Doesn't it feel like a crash? And I can see it, like I listen to WBG, I listen to Dirt and Sean and Ray and Joey, and I can feel the mood is a little different, like, especially with Dirt. He's a little down, a little bit, only because he sees what's happening, and the fact that he knows more than like I do, obviously, because he's got Doodoo Jenkins and PB Perkins on my side, and they're not really coming through. So I'm like, all right, I'm you're still my friend, but what I'm saying, Doodoo is doing. Come on, PP, you gonna be better than Doodoo. That's a conversation I had. Anyway, so he knows stuff. So, like, if he's kind of down, I'm like, dang, man, he knows something that's probably gonna upset a lot of people. And it's probably more about closing studios and canceling games and stuff like that. And maybe it has something to do with the Helix and how it may change. Honestly, I don't think, like, I'm trying to think of like the worst case scenario. What would happen? They like mess up Game Pass, shut it down, or change it in a way that it's not as good, or so there's many things that they could do to alter their trajectory. I think one of the allures of Game Pass is that you get the day and date games. You get the day and date first party games. If they take that away, it's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But at the same time, you get more sales. So what I would do, this is what I would do. And I think I said this before, but I think what Game Pass needs to be, it needs to be like what Netflix is and what Disney Plus is and what all these streaming services are. It needs to be timed. So if Xbox comes out with a first party banger, first party game, right, exclusive to Xbox, comes out for sale, just like when a movie comes out, it comes out in the movies first. It's there for a couple of weeks, month, maybe 3 months. I don't know. Maybe it's like, I think it's like 3 months, and then they throw it on the streaming services. But I don't know if 3 months might be too long for games. So I would say for a game, you can do 1 month 1 month. Oh, that still seems a little, but it's not long enough where it's like, oh man, because like you can wait a month. It's depending on the game, obviously, because some people want to buy it because they want to be in the zeitgeist and stuff. Or if you're a content creator, you got to get in there. You know what I'm saying? So they'll get those sales, and people who don't want that FOMO, they'll buy it too. And some people are like, I can't afford it. I'll wait till it pops in the Game Pass because I'm paying for that anyway. Blah blah blah. Right? So it serves both. It serves the people who want to partake early and get in the zeitgeist, be a part of that initial hype. And then the people who are on a budget but still want to partake, a month later, boom, you got it. I don't have a problem with that. Now, the price would probably have to go down a little bit, just a little bit. Like go to $17.99. At least $19.90. If it's $19.99, nah. If it was $14.99, forget about it. I'd be like, yep, let's go. I'll wait a month. I'll probably still buy some of the games. And that's the thing. It's like I buy some of the games, I wait, like I don't want to buy that one. Like South of the Midnight, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But I played it and like, I should probably buy that. Like if it's on sale or something, I'm gonna go. I gotta see how much it is. This is only like $40, so I should probably just pick it up anyway. But it's an awesome game, so I'm gonna pick that up. Not because they may be closing, but because the game is like, it's super unique as far as like its art style and the soundscape and all that stuff. It's a really good game. So there is a way to change Game Pass without destroying what it is. And honestly, it happened with movies. Like, I go back to the movie analogy. At first, when the streaming stuff happened, the movie theaters they didn't know what to do. They were like, oh my gosh, everybody's streaming and nobody's going to the movies no more because of COVID too. And then they got wise. They're like, wait, we can put movies out. Movie theaters people will still go to the movies, like when everybody opened up, whatever. COVID was over. And so now people are going through, like, Spider-Man's going to be like the biggest movie this year. Well, after Doomsday, obviously, but Spider-Man's going to be real big. It's going to be a good movie too. And like I saw Mandalorian Grogu in 4DX. Come on, son. It's like riding a Disney ride for 2 hours. I forgot how long that movie was. Like almost 2 hours. It was crazy. I was like, yo, we got to turn off the water though. If you go to 4DX, turn off the water. You don't know what kind of germs or amoebas or whatever is happening in that water. So just turn it off. That way you ain't got to worry about it. Because the first time we were like, yeah, it said, I said, got water all in my face. I was like, oh hell to no, boop. A little button on the side, you turn the water off. But yeah. I mean, honestly, that's kind of all I just go 4DX because it's an experience. You can't do that in your living room, But like a show like Spider Noir, I'm like, I can't watch it in the theater, but I watched it on Prime. I'm like, yeah, that was dope. I watched it in color, by the way, and it looked awesome. And so, movies were at that point, like the streaming services were like everybody was doing it, and then it went back, and now there's a happy medium. People have Netflix, have Disney Plus, have Paramount Plus, have all these streaming services, and still go to the movies. So it's both. It serves both, and I think Game Pass can be that as well. Like I said, it can't be 3 months. If they do 1 month, if they do 3 weeks, I mean, if they do 2 weeks, I'm like, I mean, that's a little. Okay, so if you do 2 weeks plus you get early access, so it's like a week. So then there's 3 weeks. I think a month is a safe number, and I would be fine with that. But like I said, if the price goes down and they do that, I think Game Pass survives and is still safe. And I don't think a lot of people would cancel. Like I said, they have to lower that price to. And she said as such. She said, we have to make sure that our prices are kind of, well, it's paraphrasing, in line with what we're offering as far as value. And yeah, so without day and date, you lose at least $5 right there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let me know in the comments what you think about my idea as far as Game Pass changing, how, like, would y'all be down with that? I think I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. I'd keep it, when the price goes, I keep it. Because there's a lot of little indie games and stuff. Also, let's talk about Game Pass. There's a rumor that they're going to stop doing third-party deals are on hold right now for the time being while they, figure out what they're going to do with all this stuff. So, yeah, but once again, people are, out there talking about, oh, it's because the Game Pass they're going to do, and they posit it like, they cut them off and it's never going to happen again. That's what I'm saying. These outlets should be ashamed of themselves. They shouldn't be allowed to say falsities. Also, one last thing. It just left my mind. Golly. It was in there and it said zoop and left out my brain. But it was okay. It was, wow. My brain just went in a place that doesn't even have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So, okay, we're talking Game Pass, and then we're talking about and then it doesn't matter. I'll probably think about it later, and it's all good. But yeah, I mean, guys, let me know what you think about all the things I said about Game Pass changing, about Sony's situation, Bungie, all the layoffs and stuff. But I mean, more importantly, it's like the prices of the consoles, how they will navigate, like how each company will navigate, not Nintendo, but how each company will navigate the high prices of the next gen consoles, payment plans or not. Yeah, there's a bunch of factors, and like Luke Stevens says, and like I agree with him. The crash is happening. We're watching it day by day. It's happening. Look at Microsoft stock. I think it went down again. It's in the threes. It was at 4 something, and now it's in 300 something. But that's what's up. Things have to get bad before it gets better. So it's gonna get better. It's definitely gonna get better. And this RAM apocalypse, it's happened before. It's just like, we weren't paying attention. I don't know if it's happened to this extent, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I have a laptop, I have a PC, which is old as dirt, but I can go get some older parts, boop, boop, boop. So there's ways that we can navigate through this if we want to be like, and I have the ROG Ally White Boy Edition. So, and I got an extra Xbox Series console. So it's like, a lot of people are scared or whatever, but I'm like, it's not that serious. Remember, this is just video games. And honestly, when it comes down to it, if we want to affect change, then we do have to vote with our wallets. I mean, I know it's cliche or whatever, it's corny, but it's actually the truth. If no one buys the Steam machine, it will fail again because the first one failed. No one buys a Steam machine, it would be like, oh yeah, it's trash. I was gonna say the same thing about Grand Theft Auto, but it seems like they've had a lot of pre-orders, so I don't think they'll be all right. I was thinking like, oh man, I don't think Grand Theft Auto's gonna do as well, but it'll be all right. But I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not playing Grand Theft Auto. Not as it is right now, because one, they're sneaky. They're doing the $80 and $100 or whatever version. I'm like, whatever. That's bullshit. And then they're sneaking in was it GTA Plus in there, like a week or a month subscription that auto renews. Y'all better pay attention. Y'all be paying for something. And so they're making GTA into a live. I mean, it is a live service game, the GTA Online, but they're kind of making it even more so, I guess. Or I don't even know if GTA Plus. When did that come? I don't even know when that came out. But anyway, and then, like I said, they bought the people who did the servers, the RP servers. So yeah, they're making moves to solidify GTA 6 as it's a worthy successor, I guess. So I mean, it looks cool, but I'm not. The problem for me with GTA, right? So I played 4. I got to the last mission and I kept failing it. I got to the part with the helicopter, and then it was the yacht, and I was like, and I didn't shoot the guy. I forgot what happened. I was like, I don't even know if that was the end. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to play this no more, and I stopped. And then I played that, and I was like, okay. And then I booted up GTA 5 because it was on Game Pass at one point. I started playing it. I was like, this feels exactly like GTA 4. Better graphics, but it feels the same. And I honestly, that world is not, it's not the best open world, if that makes sense. It's interesting and it's kind of cool, but it's not. It's just like, just go here, you go there, and then I'm looking at like Crimson Desert, and I'm looking at like Fable, and screenshots, and the videos, and I'm like, the thing that makes an open world for me kind of nice is how much detail they put into making the world itself alive. Crimson Desert is crazy. I told y'all I was walking up some rocks. You could climb on anything, right? I was walking up some rocks. I was like, I looked over to the side. I was like, what the hell is that? It's a family of raccoons just blooping in. I'm like, oh, okay. I picked one up. I was like, what do I do with the raccoon? It's like, you can't put them in your pouch or nothing. And you just put them down or throw a thing. I just put them down. Then it ran away. I was like, okay, that's crazy. Like, what else? I mean, they got little butterflies and stuff flying around. And then one time, I'm walking around some rocks again. I saw a snake. And I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't pick the snake up, though. I was kind of mad. I was like, can I pick up the snake? And it was like, no, we can't even interact with it. I was like, all right, whatever. And just, they got the horses, whatever, everything. It's medieval, so they got horses. But it's just so much little detail, little live. There's freaking crickets and dragonfly. I mean, you barely see them, and you're like, and the thing comes up, a little, press X to pick up the cricket. I'm like, what? I was like, pick up the frog. I'm like, huh? And you pick them up, and you could do, you could cage them up and I guess sell them, or I don't know. It's so weird, but it's so like you could literally be a gray man running around Crimson Desert Land and just picking up animals, and that's what you be like. You know what? This is the game that I want to play, and that's the beauty of games like Crimson Desert, where you can just do anything. The systems are so deep and crazy and just versatile that you could do almost anything. And Fable seems to be similar. I don't think it's as robust as Crimson Desert, but it's super similar. And the way that the job system and all that stuff and the interaction with all the NPCs, man, that's going to be crazy too. And there's a lot of detail in the environment, little bugs and stuff flying around. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. And so when I look at those games, even though they are medieval games, whatever, but still, I look at those games and I look at Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, I don't see. I mean, I guess I saw an alligator. How many alligators you gonna see? I mean, I know there's stuff in Grand Theft Auto, but it just seems a little less alive, And maybe this one will be different. Maybe this one will be better, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm sorry. I rambled long enough. I appreciate you hanging us. Blah, 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 blah. You know what to do. And hit me up in the comments. Y'all can say anything in the comments. You know how I do. I read them all. Even if I don't respond, I'll try to give you a thumbs up. Even if you hating on me, I'll try to give you a thumbs up because you took the time to say what's up, and I appreciate that. But anyway, I appreciate, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Till to wait.